They spray-painted "Go Back to Africa" on her desk. They left notes telling her to know her place. But when Korea's richest, coldest, most powerful student stood on stage and said, "Touch her again and you deal with me," the entire school went silent. This is how a girl from Lagos brought the king to his knees. The moment Kyoma's phone buzzed with the email, she screamed so loud her entire compound heard. Full scholarship to Hansung Elite Academy, South Korea's most exclusive private school, where billionaire heirs ruled the hallways and students arrived in chauffeur-driven cars. Kyoma, a girl from a bustling neighborhood in Lagos who'd learned Korean from subtitles and late-night drama marathons, was actually going to Korea. Her mother danced around the living room, nearly knocking over the fan. Her father couldn't stop smiling, kept saying, "My daughter, my brilliant daughter." Her younger brother asked if she'd meet any K-pop idols. Her grandmother held her face in both hands and whispered prayers of protection and favor. That night, Kyoma couldn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying every Korean drama she'd ever watched. Boys Over Flowers, The Heirs, Extraordinary You. She'd devoured them all, learned the language syllable by syllable, practiced conversations in her mirror. Now she was going to live it, not as a character, but as herself. 3 months later, Kyoma stood outside Incheon Airport, breathing air so cold it burned her lungs, staring at a city that glowed like something pulled from a dream. The sky was gray, but the buildings sparkled. Cars moved in perfect lines. People walked fast, faces buried in phones, nobody bumping into each other. Everything was orderly, clean, efficient, so different from the beautiful chaos of Lagos. She pulled her jacket tighter, grabbed her suitcase, and headed toward the taxi stand. The driver didn't speak English, but she managed in broken Korean. "Hansung Elite Academy, please." He looked at her in the rearview mirror, eyebrows raised. "That school? Very expensive school." She smiled. "I know, I got a scholarship." He nodded, impressed. "Your Korean is good, smart girl." She felt a small burst of pride as they pulled away from the airport. The taxi ride felt like entering another dimension. Glass towers stretched into the clouds. Neon signs blinked in Hangul, advertising cosmetics, fried chicken, noraebang. Streets so clean she wondered if people even littered here. The Han River stretched wide and calm under bridges lit up like jewelry. She pressed her face to the window, eyes wide, trying to memorize every detail. When the car finally turned onto a private road lined with perfectly manicured trees, her heart started racing. The school appeared like something out of a fantasy. Not just a building, but an entire campus that looked like a fusion of a European castle and a modern glass palace. Marble fountains, geometric gardens, students in designer, sneakers and custom-tailored uniforms walking past like they were on a runway. A Rolls-Royce pulled up and a boy stepped out, not even glancing at the driver who rushed to open his door. 2 girls with matching designer bags walked past, laughing, speaking in rapid Korean mixed with English and French. Kyoma's stomach tightened. This wasn't just elite, this was a different universe. She paid the taxi driver, grabbed her worn suitcase, and walked toward the main entrance. Heads turned. Whispers started immediately. A girl with long, straight black hair and a Chanel bag stopped mid-conversation, stared at Kyoma, then whispered something to her friend. They both looked her up and down and giggled. Kyoma caught every word in Korean. "Is that the scholarship student? From Africa? What is she wearing?" Oh my God. Kyoma kept her face neutral, straightened her shoulders, pulled her suitcase forward, and told herself she didn't fly 7,000 miles to shrink. Inside, the school was even more intimidating. Crystal chandeliers hung from vaulted ceilings. Marble staircases curved upward like something out of Versailles. Digital screens displayed announcements in Korean, English, Japanese, and Mandarin. Students moved in exclusive clusters, designer logos flashing from every direction. Gucci, Prada, Burberry, Louis Vuitton. Kyoma checked in at the front desk, received her student ID and dorm key, and took the elevator to the 8th floor. Her dorm room was sleek, modern, and cold. 2 beds, 2 desks, a massive window overlooking the manicured campus. Her roommate, a girl named Yuna with perfect skin and hair that looked professionally styled, glanced up from her phone, gave the smallest nod, and said in crisp English, "You're the scholarship girl. I'm Yuna. Try not to touch my things." Then she went back to scrolling. Kiyoma stood there, suitcase in hand, feeling the first sting of what this year would be like. That first night, Kiyoma lay in her narrow bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sound of wealth and privilege humming quietly around her. She missed home, missed her mother's jollof rice and fried plantains, missed the noise, the neighbors shouting greetings, the Okada bikes zooming past, the street hawkers calling out their goods. Here, everything was beautiful but silent, cold, lonely. She pulled out her phone and texted her mom, "I'm here, I'm safe, I'll make you proud." Even if she wasn't entirely sure how yet. Morning came with a sharp alarm. Kiyoma woke up disoriented, forgetting for a moment where she was. Then it hit her. Seoul, Hansung Elite Academy, the school where Korea's most powerful families sent their children. She got up, showered, and put on her uniform. Navy blazer with the school crest embroidered in gold thread, crisp white shirt, plaid skirt, red silk tie. She looked at herself in the mirror. The uniform was beautiful, but it felt like armor she didn't know how to wear yet. She tied her braids into a high bun, applied some lip gloss, took a deep breath, and headed out. If you're also hoping things goes well for Kiyoma like me, smash that like button and subscribe because this is just the beginning. The cafeteria was on the second floor, and it looked like a 5-star hotel restaurant. Buffet stations with Korean, Western, Japanese, and French cuisine, crystal water dispensers, marble tables. The room buzzed with conversation. Students sat in their exclusive groups, laughing, switching between languages, dripping in casual wealth. Barely anyone glanced her way. She grabbed a tray, filled it with rice, miyeokguk, and kimchi, and searched for a place to sit. Every table felt like a fortress. Then she heard the commotion. The entire cafeteria shifted. Conversations dropped to whispers. Heads turned toward the entrance, and he walked in, tall, impossibly handsome, walking like he owned not just the cafeteria, but the entire country. Dark hair perfectly styled, school uniform worn like a fashion statement, blazer draped over one shoulder, tie loose, top button undone. 3 other boys walked beside him, but he was clearly at the center. The sun, everyone else orbited around. Girls stared. Some whispered. A few stood up straighter, fixed their hair, hoped to be noticed. His name was Park Ji-hoon. Kiyoma would learn that within the first hour. Son of Park Industries, one of the largest conglomerates in South Korea. Hotels, technology, entertainment. His family's net worth was incomprehensible, and he walked through the world like he knew it. He sat at a table in the center of the cafeteria, the best table, the one with the view. His friends sat around him. Girls approached, smiling, trying to talk to him. He barely looked up, just nodded, gave half smiles, returned to his phone. Dismissive, bored, untouchable. Kiyoma watched from 3 tables away, fascinated and irritated at the same time. He was everything she expected from Korean dramas, the cold, arrogant, rich boy who treated people like accessories. She rolled her eyes and focused on her food. Then their eyes met, just for a second. He glanced her way, paused, stared just long enough for her to notice, then looked away like she wasn't worth a second thought. Her jaw tightened. She looked back down at her tray. Forget him, she thought. Just another spoiled rich boy. Her first class was Korean literature. The classroom was all glass and modern design, with a view of the campus gardens. The teacher, a stylish woman in her 40s, asked students to introduce themselves and share why they chose to study at Hansung. One by one, students stood. "My father is CEO of Samjin Group. My family has been in politics for generations. I'm preparing to take over our fashion empire." Then it was Koyoma's turn. She stood, heart pounding, and spoke in clear Korean. My name is Kdrama. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm here on a full academic scholarship because I want to prove that brilliance has no borders." The room went silent. Some students looked impressed. Others looked uncomfortable. A girl in the back whispered loud enough to hear, "Scholarship student." Of course. The teacher smiled warmly. "Welcome, Kdrama. That's a wonderful perspective." After class, as Kdrama gathered her things, a girl with short hair and kind eyes approached her. "Hi," she said in English. "I'm Hana." "That was really brave what you said." "Thank you," Kdrama said, feeling relieved. "I'm just being honest." "I like honest," Hana said. "Want to grab coffee later?" Hana became her lifeline. Over iced Americanos at a cafe near campus, Hana explained the unspoken rules. "There are 4 boys who basically run this school," she said. "They're called the F4. Kdrama nearly choked on her coffee. "Like boys over flowers?" Hana laughed. "Exactly like that. Same energy, same ridiculous power. Park Ji-hoon is the leader. His family owns half of Seoul. Then there's Min Jae, the quiet genius. His family controls media and entertainment. Tae-hyun, the playboy. Old money, like royal level old. And Seung-ho, the athlete. His dad is a senator. They've been best friends since kindergarten. No one messes with them." "And let me guess," Kdrama said. "Ji-hoon is the coldest one." Hana nodded. "Ice cold. Gorgeous but cruel. He's turned down more girls than I can count. Treats most people like they're invisible." Kdrama stirred her coffee. "Sounds like someone who needs to be humbled." Hana's eyes widened. "Trust me. Don't even try. Girls have tried for years. He doesn't care." But fate had other plans. The next day in economics class, the teacher assigned a group project. "Kdrama, you'll be partnered with Ji-hoon, Min Jae, and Soo-jin." Kdrama's stomach dropped. Ji-hoon looked up from his phone, saw her, and his expression didn't change, just a blank stare. After class, Soo-jin, a girl with perfect makeup and a designer handbag, approached Kdrama. "Listen," she said in English with a thick accent. "This is an important project. Don't mess it up. We'll meet at Ji-hoon's penthouse tomorrow. Try to keep up." She walked away before Kdrama could respond. The next afternoon, Kdrama stood outside a luxury high-rise in Gangnam, staring up at the building. The doorman looked at her like she was lost. "I'm here for Park Ji-hoon," she said. "Penthouse." He checked his list, nodded, and let her in. The elevator ride to the top floor felt like ascending into another world. The doors opened into a penthouse that looked like something out of Architectural Digest. Floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, original artwork on the walls, a view of Seoul that took her breath away. Ji-hoon was sitting on a white leather couch, laptop open, barely glancing up when she walked in. "You're late. I'm 5 minutes early," Kdrama shot back. His eyes flicked to her, surprised. No one talked back to him. Ever. Soo-jin and Min Jae were already there. "Let's just get this over with." Soo-jin sighed. They spent 2 hours working on the project. Well, Kdrama and Min Jae worked. Ji-hoon scrolled on his phone. Soo-jin checked her reflection every 5 minutes. Finally, Kdrama snapped. "Are you going to help, or are you just here for decoration?" The room went dead silent. Min Jae's eyes widened. Soo-jin gasped. Ji-hoon slowly looked up from his phone, eyes cold. "Excuse me?" "You heard me," Kdrama said, meeting his gaze. "This is a group project. That means everyone works. Or does that concept not apply to people like you?" His jaw tightened. "People like me? Rich boys who think their money means they don't have to try." Soo-jin stood up. "You can't talk to him like that." "Watch me," Kdrama said coolly. Ji-hoon stared at her for a long moment. Then, unexpectedly, he smiled. Just barely. It wasn't warm. It was dangerous. "You've got guts, I'll give you that." He closed his laptop. "Fine. Let's work. Drop a like right now if you're loving Kdrama's energy and subscribe because this tension is about to explode. The next few weeks were war. Kdrama refused to be intimidated. When Jihoon made a snide comment, she fired back. When he tried to ignore her, she called him out. When he walked past her in the hallway like she didn't exist, she stepped directly in front of him. "You're not invisible here," he said one day, annoyed. "Good," she replied. "Neither are you." His friends found it hilarious. Min Jae especially. "I've never seen anyone stand up to him like this," he told Keoma during lunch. "It's kind of amazing." "He needs it," Keoma said. "Someone needs to remind him he's human." But Jihoon wasn't just cold. He was complicated. One afternoon, Keoma found him alone in the library, staring at a book he wasn't reading. She sat across from him. "What are you doing?" he asked without looking up. "Studying." "You?" "Avoiding people." "Why?" "Because most of them want something from me." She tilted her head. "What could I possibly want from you?" He finally looked up. "That's what I'm trying to figure out. There was a school festival coming up, the biggest event of the semester. Everyone was talking about it. Performances, food, fireworks. And of course, the F4 would be the center of attention. Keoma wasn't planning to go, but Hana dragged her. "You have to experience this," she insisted. So Keoma rented a beautiful hanbok, deep blue with gold embroidery, and walked into the festival. It was magical. Lanterns everywhere, music, laughter. And then she saw him. Jihoon was surrounded by people, girls trying to talk to him, guys trying to impress him. He looked miserable. Their eyes met across the crowd. For a moment, everything else faded. Then a girl stepped in front of him, blocking Keoma's view. She turned to walk away, but she heard his voice. "Move." The crowd parted. He walked straight toward her. Everyone stared. "Want to get out of here?" he asked. She blinked. "What?" "This is boring. Let's leave." "Why would I leave with you? Because you're the only person here I actually want to talk to." Her heart stuttered. "Fine, but only because I'm bored too." They walked through the streets of Seoul. No driver, no entourage, just them. He bought her bunjeopang from a street vendor. She taught him how to eat it properly. They sat by the Han River, watching the lights reflect on the water. "Why are you so different?" he asked quietly. "Different how? You don't want anything from me? You don't care who I am?" She shrugged. "Because you're just a person. A really annoying person sometimes, but still just a person." He laughed. Actually laughed. It was the first real smile she'd seen from him. "I don't think anyone's ever called me annoying before." "Well, now you know." They sat in comfortable silence. Then he said, "My mom is always away on business deals across countries. My dad runs the company here, but I hardly see him. I've been alone ever since I was young. I'm always surrounded by people, but I'm completely alone." She looked at him. Her voice was soft. "I'm sorry." He met her eyes. "You're the first person who's ever made me feel like I'm not alone." Her breath caught, and that's when she realized she was falling for him, and he was falling for her. But of course, nothing was ever easy. The next week, photos of them at the festival started circulating. Jihoon and the scholarship girl. Is he slumming? She's obviously using him. Gold digger alert. The whispers became vicious. Keoma opened her locker one morning and notes fell out. "Go back to Africa. You're embarrassing yourself. Know your place." Her hands shook. Hana found her in the bathroom, crying. "We have to report this." "No," Keoma said. "I'm not running." But it got worse. Someone spray-painted scholarship trash on her desk. Teachers started looking at her with pity. Even some students who'd been neutral turned cold. Jihoon noticed. He saw her pulling away, saw her light dimming. One day, he cornered her after class. "Talk to me. There's nothing to say. Don't lie to me." She finally looked at him, eyes red. "They're right, Jihoon. I don't belong in your world. Don't you dare," he said, voice hard. "Don't you dare let them make you small. I'm not like you. I don't have money or power or—" "You have something better," he interrupted. "You have fire. You have brilliance. You have a heart that actually feels things." He stepped closer. "You think I care what they say?" "You should." "I don't. The only thing I care about is you." Her eyes filled with tears. "Ji-hoon." He cupped her face. "I'm falling for you, Kdrama. I don't know how it happened or when, but I am, and I don't care who knows." Before she could respond, he kissed her, right there in the hallway, in front of everyone. Phones came out, gasps echoed, but neither of them cared. When they pulled apart, he took her hand. "Let them talk." She smiled through tears. Okay, the backlash was immediate. The F4's parents got involved. Ji-hoon's father called him in, demanded he end it. "This girl is not our class. She'll ruin your reputation." Ji-hoon stood firm. "If you can't accept her, then you don't accept me. I'm serious, Dad. She's the only real thing in my life." His father was furious. But Ji-hoon didn't back down. At school, he called an assembly, stood on stage in front of everyone. "If anyone has a problem with who I choose to be with, you can take it up with me directly. But if I hear one more word about Kdrama, one more note, one more nasty comment, you'll deal with me. And trust me, you don't want that." The room was silent. Some students looked ashamed, others shocked. But the message was clear. After that, things changed, slowly. Some students apologized, others kept their distance, but stopped the harassment. And Kdrama? She stopped trying to fit in. She just existed. Confidently, loudly, authentically, she and Ji-hoon became inseparable. Study dates, late-night food runs, walking the city hand in hand. His friends accepted her. Min-jae became one of her closest friends. By the end of the semester, Kdrama wasn't just surviving Hansung Elite Academy. She was thriving. Top of her class. Respected. Loved. On the last day before summer break, Ji-hoon gave her a small box. Inside was a delicate necklace with a pendant shaped like the African continent and the Korean peninsula intertwined. 2 worlds, he said. 1 love. She put it on, eyes wet. "I'm coming back next year." "Good," he said, pulling her close, "because I'm not letting you go." They stood on the rooftop overlooking Seoul, the city that had broken her and rebuilt her. Home wasn't one place anymore. It was him. It was her. It was the space they created together. If this story gave you all the feels, subscribe, share it, and drop a comment telling me your favorite moment and where you're watching from. Thanks for riding with me on this journey. More fire stories coming soon.